If you will learn the rules of the game better than others, you will play better than others. Learning the rules of the game, understanding the history and analyzing it and taking a step forward is always a wise decision to make, and a wise decision always help you attain your goals in bigger and the better manner. Hello students, welcome to the online platform of Civil Minds Academy. We provide holistic guidance for the UPSC, CGPSC and State Services examination. My name is Yogesh Kumar and I am going to take economic portion for the UPSC. Let's start. So let's start. First we will understand what will be our program to understand the economics for UPSC examination. So today is our L0, that is the lecture note. This is the orientation class in which we are going to discuss what is the syllabus of economics in the prelims as well as in the mains examination of the UPSC. We will also discuss the subject weightage, means the weightage of the economic questions in the prelims and the mains examination. Okay, and we will also discuss the classes which are upcoming classes for our L1. L1 will be our lecture 1 in which we will understand the basics of economics. UPSC is a very generalistic examination, means people from the different and diverse background come and take the examination. There is a huge possibility that they don't have the basic understanding of the economics. So we have planned our program in such a manner that they will have the basic idea about the economics. So this is the idea about economics. So what is the idea about economics? Idea about economics is that economics don't have any single definition. Rather than having a definition, we must have an idea about economics. So what will be the idea? We will discuss in our lecture 1, and after L1, L2, L3 and L4, everybody who is continuing this particular program will have the idea of the economics. It is more about common sense rather than mugging up the things. Okay. So in L1 we will discuss this. In L2 we will understand about the money evolution and types. We will understand how money is created, how a country have its currency and how it is circulated. We will also understand the barter system to digital payment system. Initially, what is the barter system? Don't be confused if right now you are coming across a term which you never heard, because यही सीखने के लिए हम लोग यहाँ पर हैं. ऐसा कुछ आ सकता है जो हमने कभी नहीं सुना. So what is the barter system? In the ancient time we know that there was no concept of money, and there were people who have a particular commodity, there are other people who have the other commodity, and they usually exchange the commodities and fulfill their needs. That was the barter system. It means in the ancient time there was no concept of money. So start from that, we will understand the evolution of money. The evolution of money. Today we use the digital payment system, we use the phone pay, we use the QR system, we use the beam, we use so many things. So we will learn about the digital payment system around us. Now in the lecture 3 we will understand the monetary policy framework. Now what is the monetary policy framework? We will understand in detail. In the money market, if we talk about the circulation of money and there is government involved, there is a stakeholder, that is government, there is the RBI. We will understand about RBI, we will understand about the role of the government, and along with that there are people. So we will understand the monetary policy, which is the domain of the Reserve Bank of India. We will understand the qualitative tools, we will understand the quantitative tools of the RBI which control the money supply in the market. No need to bother अगर अभी कुछ नए टर्म्स आ रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली जब हम आगे बढ़ेंगे उनको बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में हम लोग पढ़ने वाले हैं. अभी हम सिर्फ हमारी क्लासेस के बारे में डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि हमारी क्लासेस में हम लोग क्या क्या डिस्कस करने वाले हैं और किस तरीके से हम लोग आगे बढ़ने वाले हैं. सो यू विल अंडरस्टैंड द मनी सप्लाई, वी विल अंडरस्टैंड द मनी क्रिएशन, हाउ मनी इज क्रिएटेड, द क्वालिटेटिव एंड क्वांटिटेटिव टूल्स ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी. वी विल अंडरस्टैंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स, द रेपो रेट, द रिवर्स रेपो रेट, द CRR, SLR, the role of RBI we will understand. Priority sector lending, that is the new term, and we will discuss these things in this lecture. L4, we will understand about the banking system in India. We see around us there are so many banks, there are commercial banks, there are foreign banks, there are private banks, there are differential bank. We see RRB around us, that is the regional rural banks. We will understand about all these banks, how these banks are regulated by RBI and all the mechanism which are crucial to understand the banking system in India. Types of financial intermediaries. Now financial intermediary is relatively new term. What are financial intermediaries? We will understand about them. We will understand about banks, classification and their functioning, and NBFCs, non-banking financial companies. We will understand, we will make a chart in which every institution will be mentioned and you will have a very good glimpse of the banking system in India. Now we will understand in our next lecture, that is L5, the security market in India. Now security market in India is nothing but, for a layman terms we can understand, for a common man who don't understand security market is nothing but the kind of share market. We will understand in detail what is security market. For an example, if there is a person who wants some money and this person is going to person A is going to person B and asking for some money. Now this person is asking that I will give you money, but in return you have to give me some security that you will repay this money on time. So that security means this person is giving him a bond. A bond means this is nothing but a paper. Understand in a simple terms, this is nothing but a paper. In this paper there is written how much money this person is lending to him. Also written there is a percentage of interest rate which on this money this person is going to pay, and also the time. In this particular time frame I will repay the money. So this instrument, this paper is nothing but a kind of security. We will understand in detail, no need to bother right now. Okay, we will understand the equity and debt market. This I am not going to discuss here, we will understand in detail. SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India, we will understand it is a regulatory body for the security market. We will understand the corporate governance. There are corporates, big businesses in which the governance process takes place. We will understand that corporate governance. In our L6 next lecture, we will understand about the financial inclusion. What is financial inclusion? We will understand in detail, but here I am giving you an example with which you can have a basic idea about financial inclusion. There is a term inclusion, means we have to include. Now the term is inclusion means we have to include a person who is excluded, जो अभी सिस्टम में नहीं है उसको उसके अंदर लाना है. So that is the inclusion, and here is the financial inclusion. We have a financial system. In our financial system there is a government, there is a RBI, and there are people themselves. Function of government is nothing but to secure the life of people. Secure the life of people. Now for securing life of people, they collect taxes. Government collect taxes and spend these taxes in the welfare schemes. Okay, so financial inclusion is nothing but to include those people, those hitherto untouched people who are historically not part of this financial system, into their domain, into the financial system. For example, we have Jan Dhan Yojana. Jan Dhan Yojana is nothing but bank accounts. In the rural areas, those people who have no bank accounts, those people are included into this financial system by the virtue of the Jan Dhan Yojana. Now we have insurance and pension system. We will understand insurance and pension system, that is also part of financial inclusion. We will understand the history and government schemes regarding insurance and pension system. So let's move forward. Our next lecture L7 will be about the public finance. Government budgeting, we will understand what is the budgeting, how government do this, and different types of budgeting. Taxation system, we will understand the direct tax and indirect taxes in detail, and GST, which is very important, and the finance commission, what are the roles of finance commission, what it do, and what is the formula of the divisibility pool which is decided by the finance commission. In the next lecture we will understand the fiscal policy framework, the receipts means government, what government receives in taxation, the expenditures, how government expend it, and the deficits, इसको कहते हैं घाटा. गवर्नमेंट को जितना घाटा होता है, जितना पैसा आ रहा है और कितना पैसा गवर्नमेंट खर्च कर रही है, उसके डिफरेंस को डेफिसिट कहा जाता है, दैट इज द घाटा. उसके बारे में हम डिटेल में फिजिकल पॉलिसी फ्रेमवर्क में समझेंगे. इन द L9 वी विल अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट द एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर. एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर मीन्स द बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट, imports and exports. Means no country is self-sufficient, means there are so many commodities which country produce, there are so many commodities which country doesn't produce, but they need it for their fulfillment. So those commodities are imported by countries, and those commodities which are in excess, which are in surplus, are exported. So we'll understand about import and exports of countries, and also the balance of payment, which I am not going to discuss right now, but in lecture we will discuss in detail. The FDI, the foreign direct investment, and the foreign portfolio investment we will discuss. The exchange rate regime, which is also really important, we will discuss about it. In our lecture 10, that is the international organization, we will understand about World Trade Organization, WTO, we will understand about World Bank, IMF and their functions. In next lecture L11, we will understand about sectors of economy. Primary sector is agriculture, secondary sector is the manufacturing sector, and the service sector, which is the tertiary sector. We will understand all these sectors in the detail. In L12, lecture 12, we will understand the economic planning and the resource mobilization, how government make planning. We will understand the 5-year plans. L13, lecture 13, we will understand poverty and unemployment. Poverty and unemployment both are interrelated topics. We will understand how the poverty is calculated, what are different measures to alleviate the poverty, and also the unemployment. L14, lecture 14, we will understand the national income accounting, about GDP, gross domestic product, GNI, gross national income, GVA, that is the gross value added, and the other concept related to the national income accounting. L15, that is inflation, CPI and WPI. CPI means the consumer price index, WPI is the wholesale price index. We will understand inflation, that is महंगाई. हम महंगाई के बारे में समझेंगे इस लेक्चर में डिटेल में. महंगाई के कारण क्या होते हैं, व्हाट आर द रीजन ऑफ द इन्फ्लेशन एंड हाउ टू कर्टेल द इन्फ्लेशन. RBI plays a very crucial role in this, and we will understand about it. In L16, we will understand about the human development. In L17, lecture 17, we will understand infrastructure. We will learn about the railways, roads in India, airways and the waterways, and some other topics related to the infrastructure. In L18, we will understand about the investment model. There are different investment model which are prevalent in the economic domain. Government use some models. We will understand those models in the detail. Let's move forward. In our lecture 19, we will understand about the land reforms in India. In L20, we will understand about agriculture and the cropping patterns, irrigation technology, transport, e-technology, animal rearing. These topics are relatively more important for the mains point of view. In lecture 21, we will understand about the public distribution system, that is PDS, MSP, that is the minimum support price. We will understand what are the subsidies, different type of subsidies, and government allocation in the subsidies. What are subsidies? No need to bother if this particular term you are not able to get. This is a relatively new term. We will understand in the L21. In L22, lecture 22, we will understand the food processing industry. In L23, basics of microeconomics. We will understand the difference between the microeconomy and macroeconomy. No need to bother. The demand and supply elasticity curves, etc. And in L24, we will understand the budget and the economic survey. Okay. So this is our lecture plans. Till lecture 24, we will understand all these things. Budget and economic survey, we will understand which are the recent one. Now, let's move forward. The year-wise weightage of the economic UPSC CSE prelims. We are talking about prelims. Why economics is very crucial for clearing the prelims examination. Understand the trends here. You will see that in 2013 there were 19 questions from the economics, and you can see continuously that 19, 10, 13, 18, 16, 18, 14, 15, 10 and 17. In recent paper there was 17 questions from the economics, and questions were both of the moderate difficulty and the extremely difficult questions were also there. So don't bother, we will understand about it. So here we need to understand that understanding economics is very crucial to clear the prelims examination because a relatively good weightage is there. Okay, so let's move forward. Now talk about the mains examination. There is an average weightage of 120 marks because in GS3 economics is there along with some other subjects we will discuss in the other lecture. Relatively nearly 120 marks out of 250. Out of 250. 120 marks questions will come from the economics. So from mains point of view, economics is really very important. Although there are some topics in the economics which UPSC usually target for the prelims examination, and there are some topics which UPSC target for the mains examination. In the prelims examination, there are so many topics like monetary policy, fiscal policy, inflation. These topics UPSC ask conceptual questions which you will understand in the detailed manner, and mains questions are relatively analytical. So let's move forward. Now we will discuss the study material which we need to read. The first thing which is very crucial and very important is the Civil Minds classroom study notes. Here we are going to cover all the topics holistically and specifically for the UPSC examination. So no need to go behind the so many sources. Rather than going to so many sources, stuck to few sources and try to revise them as much as possible. So first thing is the Civil Minds classroom study notes which we will provide you, and the printed handouts which will be provided by the institutions, and the classroom notes which we will cover in the lectures. So first and the foremost thing is the Civil Minds classroom study notes. Second is the NCERT. Now there is a very common understanding that the NCERT is very crucial, and yes, they are the basic understanding. For basic understanding, those students who don't have basic understanding of economics can refer these NCERT books. Class 9th NCERT named as the Social Science Economics. You can read this. Class 10th is the Understanding Economic Development. Class 11 is the Indian Economic Development, which is very important. Out of these four, the Class 11 economics book is really important and really interesting also. If you will study this, you will feel like you are reading a novel. So read it, Class 11. Class 12, there are two books, but you have to read only the macroeconomic book. No need to read the microeconomic book because UPSC don't cover anything from the microeconomy. There is very little portion which we will cover in the classroom, so no need to go for the whole sort of books and other things. Number 3, what you need to read? As of now, no reference book. Please keep in mind, we are not giving you any name of any reference book. No need to go for any reference book. Meanwhile, we will suggest during the course. Meanwhile, when we will complete at least 5, 6, 7 lectures, then we will refer you that which book you should read. So have certainty in your content. It is really important. You must have certainty in your content for every subject for the UPSC. Whatever you are reading, have certainty there are fixed content. Rather than reading 10 books one times, you must read one book 10 times. If you will do that, you will able to reap the benefit of the content you are reading, and you will clear the exam. Complete the static syllabus. Economics is a dynamic subject, but the static syllabus is there. There are so many concepts which are not going to change. So static syllabus को बहुत अच्छे से complete करना है and revise it at least 4 to 5 times. The more you read, more you will confuse. More you will confuse means there will be questions which raised in your mind, and we will move forward. Don't run behind the fancy content. There are so many content, there are so many books which are really difficult books and have no significance for the UPSC CSC exam, but still there are so many aspirants and so many publishers are continuously coming up with those books. So no need to go behind fancy content, I am telling you. Okay. Bulk of books, no. Do cost benefit analysis. Cost benefit analysis means how much time you are giving and how much benefit you are going to reap. Always do this analysis. There are so many bulky books and the difficult books which use the jargons. Jargons are the term specifically related to the particular field. So no need to read the bulky books. Be specific with the content, read it as much as possible. Let's move forward. Now understand the guiding light. Two things are going to guide you throughout the preparation. First thing is the previous year question paper, and second thing is the syllabus. Always keep in mind, you must have the printed previous year question paper on your table. First thing, and second thing is the syllabus. Syllabus from the official website of the UPSC. Now from where you are going to download the previous year question paper for prelims, you must need at least 12 years papers. Don't go far behind. 1996 का paper अभी help नहीं करेगा because trends are changing day by day. So no need to go far back. 12 years, last 12 years question papers would be sufficient. For mains since 2014. Okay, because syllabus has changed, and since 2014 you can take the printout of the PDFs. Source would be the UPSC website itself. UPSC provide the previous year question paper. You can download from this particular link. Now, what is the syllabus of the economics in the UPSC? UPSC specifically mentioned the syllabus for the prelims. The syllabus is this, and for the mains, the details is given below. In the prelims, he is asking economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion and demographics, and social sector initiative. We will all cover these things holistically in our lectures, so no need to bother about it. But you must know what is the syllabus, because it happens you came across the newspaper and so many things regarding the economics, but they have no significance for your UPSC examination. So no need to get indulged into that content which is not significant. Okay, so rather than understanding what to read, you also need to understand what not to read. What not to read. This is also really important, because if you will read the unnecessary stuff, you will waste your time, which is the most precious thing. So don't read the things which are not written in your syllabus. Now what is the syllabus of mains? All these things we have covered in our lectures. So read it and let's move forward. We have covered all these things in our lectures. So now read this quote: without strategy, execution is aimless, and without execution, strategy is useless. This is really important quote. Understand this. Without strategy, execution is aimless. Means if you don't have the strategy, you won't able to execute, and if you will execute without strategy, you won't achieve your goal. So that will be aimless. So if you want to achieve your aim, you must have a good strategy. You must have a good strategy. That strategy we will discuss in our lectures, and two things which are going to help you make a good strategy as previous year question paper and the syllabus. Along with that, we are going to help you to make a good strategy and fetch as much as possible marks in the prelims as well as mains examination and achieve your goal. So you must have a good strategy, Without execution, strategy is useless. Now you have a good strategy, but you are not executing it. That won't make sense. That would be useless. So you have to make a good strategy, then you have to execute it with full of energy. Now understand this. However beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the result. You should occasionally look at the result. This is all about the appraisal. Appraisal. All about the appraisal. That is मूल्यांकन. आपको एक अच्छी स्ट्रैटेजी बनानी है, उस अच्छी स्ट्रैटेजी को आपको एग्जीक्यूट करना है, और चाहे वो स्ट्रैटेजी कितनी भी अच्छी हो, बट आपको ओकेजनली मतलब कभी कभार ये चेक करना है कि क्या उस स्ट्रैटेजी से हमको रिजल्ट मिलेगा, और उसको चेक करने के लिए मूल्यांकन करना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. और वो मूल्यांकन होगा नथिंग बट द टेस्ट सीरीज़, जो कि सिविल माइंड्स आपको प्रोवाइड करेगा. मीनवाइल द कोर्स वी विल ऑल्सो हैव सम टेस्ट प्लान्स, वो भी हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. तो यहाँ पे तीन बातें आपको सीखनी है. आपको एक बहुत अच्छी स्ट्रैटेजी बनानी, यू मस्ट हैव अ गुड स्ट्रैटेजी, After that, you have to execute that strategy and occasionally check whether that strategy is going to work or not. If you will do all these things, you will definitely able to fetch good marks in the examination and you will achieve your goal in better and the bigger manner. Thank you.